So one of the activities I'm asking you to do is this mental code worksheet. This worksheet is designed to have you start thinking about being able to simulate code in your head. Basically, until you can look at something, so it tells me to go find this in the directory of files, so I do that, and I download this file, and here it is, mental code. Until you can read something like this and basically simulate what it's going to do in your head, you're going to have a real hard time writing code. Basically, the first step is to learn to understand it. And then you can start writing it, and when something goes wrong, you have to be able to kind of impartially look at what you've written, forget what you were trying to say or what you think you say, and read it the way the computer reads it. So like this first example, int xyz, x gets set to 4, y gets assigned x plus 5, z gets assigned to y times 10. If I want to test that out, kind of the way I need to do that is to test it in the debugger. Right? So I want to learn how to do this in my head, but the way I see what the computer's doing is by running the code and watching run step by step. So the way you do that is you put in a breakpoint. You find the line of code you want to stop at, so basically the first spot where things get interesting, and I click right next to the line number, or you can right click and say, oh, I guess not, right click, sorry, hit F9 or toggle breakpoint. Basically this is a stop sign. If we run in the debug mode, as soon as we hit this line, we're going to stop. So I'm going to do that. Let's build a program. It gives me this warning. I should be scared of warnings. Variable z is set but not used. Well, okay, that's not too harmful. I'm not worried about that one. But in general, you should definitely, if you see a warning, at least stop and read it and see if it sounds like something that you're worried about. If you understand exactly what it's saying and you know that that's not a problem, then you can go on. But if you get in the habit of just ignoring warnings, at some point it's going to hurt you. So now to debug the project, if I run this, it's not going to stop. It's just going to blast through. To watch this in the debugger, I've got to debug it, which you can hit F5, or you can just go to the Start Debugging. And so it's run that line of code, and it's showing me where it is now. That yellow arrow shows me it's about to run this line. It hasn't done it yet. So right now, x, y, and z all have their initial values. And since I never set them, I didn't specify initial values, they've got random numbers. That's what happens in C++. If you don't bother giving a value to something, it has just the random contents that happen to be in memory. So this says take 4 and store it in x. So to run one line, what I want to do is do this step over, or hit F10, or up in the debug menu, step over. And that advances it one line. So it runs this line of code, and I can see that x got set to 4, and we're about to run this line. So the idea of this sheet is you can print it out and try running this. Okay, 4 is what's stored in x, so I write 4 there. Y gets set to x plus 5. Well, at this point, when this runs, 4 is what x is, so 4 plus 5 is 9. We do whatever's on the right-hand side, and we store it to the left. So y is going to become 9. Let's see if I was right. Cool, my intuition was right. And that's what we want to develop, is this intuition, this understanding of what the computer is going to understand a particular line of code means. Take y, multiply it by 10, so 9 times 10 is 90. Store it into z. Perfect. I would have predicted it showed us 90. Now, we're not printing anything here, so we'll never see anything in the output, but we can still watch all the changes as our program's running. Now, at this point, there's nothing left interesting to do, so to stop debugging the program, I'd hit the red square. If you by accident keep going, you'll fall down into this, which is actually the assembly code, which we don't want to be messing with. So if you ever see this, you know to just close it and stop the debugger. And then if I want to debug it again, all right, I just start it up again. So you should try doing these by hand and kind of thinking these as storage boxes and what would be put there, and then confirm them by using the debugger.